Santiago had never believed in omens, but something changed that day. The old fisherman woke before dawn with a feeling that something unusual was about to happen. 74 years of life had taught him to discern the voice of intuition amid the noise of everyday life. The small village of Coja on the Cuban coast was still asleep. Santiago walked down to the sea, leaving footprints in the damp sand. His boat, which he named Dream, rocked in the waves as if alive. The fisherman stroked its side. The wood was smooth and warm, despite the night's chill. Today, he decided to venture further than usual. For 40 years, Santiago had fished in the same spots, knowing every hidden rock, every eddy in the current. But in recent months, his catch had become increasingly meager. Young fishermen with motorboats had driven him out of his usual haunts. He was alone in his craft, but solitude didn't frighten him. It was his choice. When the sun was just beginning to paint the horizon orange, Santiago was already far out to sea. His hands, covered in scars and calluses, confidently handled the fishing rods. He hummed an old song once sung by his father, long since deceased. Around noon, the first miracle occurred. The line tautened so tightly that Santiago could barely hold on to the rod. But this was no ordinary fish. When the old man pulled in his catch, his heart sank. Hanging from the hook was a strange silver fish, the likes of which he had never seen in these waters. A faint inscription glowed on its side, as if someone had scratched it long ago. 1947. Santiago carefully removed the fish from the hook. It was warm, even though it had just emerged from the water. The fisherman carefully examined the inscription. It was the year he was born. A coincidence? Perhaps. But Santiago never believed in mere coincidences. He placed the fish in a wooden box and continued fishing, but now his mind worked differently. Memories he had tried to forget began to surface like air bubbles from the seabed. Towards evening, the sky darkened unusually quickly. Clouds gathered over the sea, as if by agreement. Santiago knew a storm was approaching, but he was in no hurry to return. Something kept him afloat, some unknown force. When the first drops of rain fell on his face, a second miracle occurred. A man's head rose from the water. Santiago cried out, almost falling from the boat. But it was not a man in the ordinary sense. It was a transparent figure, glowing with a blue light from within. "Santiago," came a voice, as if coming from the sea itself. "Do you remember me?" The old man couldn't move. His throat was dry. "I remember you," the voice continued. "Do you remember the boat that sank 70 years ago? Do you remember my father?" Santiago remembered. Oh, how he remembered. It was the day he'd tried to erase from his memory his entire life. The day his father and his best friend, Manuel, went fishing. The day only one boat returned. "My father didn't drown," the voice said. "He was saved by the sea. The sea gave him a second life, but at a price. He forgot everything, his family, his past life. He became part of the sea, and I was born from that union. I am the son of the sea and man." "Why did you come?" Santiago whispered. "Because you bear the guilt. Because you survived, and they didn't. Because you never forgave yourself." The figure began to fade, but the voice remained. "I give you my last catch, Santiago. A catch that will change everything." As the vision faded, a storm erupted with incredible force. The waves rose higher than the boat's mast. Santiago struggled with the sea, but his hands were steady. He had survived hundreds of storms. However, this one was different. Amid the raging waves, he saw her, the fish of legend. A black marlin, the size of a boat, with eyes full of intelligence and sorrow. A fish that fishermen called the queen of the seas. They said she was older than the sea itself, that she had witnessed the birth and death of civilizations. Santiago forgot all about fear. His life, his entire life, had led him to this moment. He began to prepare the strongest line, the sharpest hook. His hands moved with the precision of a surgeon. When he cast his line, the fish offered no resistance. She swam up to the boat and looked at Santiago. In her eyes, the old man saw the entire history of the world: war and peace, birth and death, love and betrayal. He saw his own life reflected in those pupils, black as night. "Are you ready?" the fish asked, and Santiago realized he could hear its thoughts. "Ready for what?" he answered out loud. "For the truth." The fight had begun. It was not a struggle between hunter and prey, but a dance between two creatures bound by fate. Hours merged into a single moment. Santiago felt his heartbeat match the fish's. His muscles burned, but he didn't let go of the line. When the marlin finally reached the boat, Santiago saw the same inscription on its side, 1947, and another one, which he hadn't noticed before, forgiveness. Santiago didn't kill the fish. Instead, he sat in the boat and wept. Tears streamed down his wrinkled face, mixing with the seawater and rain. "My father," he whispered. "Is that you?" The fish nodded slowly. "I couldn't go back," it said in a voice that was his father's, but not quite. "I was transformed by the sea. I became a part of it, and it became a part of me. But I remembered you. I remembered your face the day I left for the sea. I remembered your pain." "Why didn't you come back?" Santiago asked. "Because I couldn't. Because I had to teach you. You spent your whole life fighting the sea, but you never understood it. The sea is not an enemy. The sea is a mirror. It reflects what's in your soul." Santiago remembered all those years, all those lonely nights on the water, all those days when he fought the waves as if fighting himself. "What should I do?" he asked. "Let me go. Let go of the line. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the pain. It's the only way to be free." Santiago lifted the fishing rod. His hands trembled. He could have killed this fish. He could have proved he was right, that his struggle hadn't been in vain. But instead, he cut the line. The marlin disappeared beneath the water, but before it disappeared, it leaped out of the water one last time. At that moment, Santiago saw not a fish, but a young man, his father, as he had been 70 years ago, with a smile on his face. Part 5. The Return. The storm died down as suddenly as it had begun. The sky cleared, and the stars shone brighter than ever. Santiago steered the boat toward shore. When he landed, he was met by Manolin, the boy who had helped him fish. The boy was in tears. "Santiago, I thought you drowned. The storm was so strong." The old man smiled. For the first time in many years, his smile was genuine, without bitterness or pain. "I met an old friend," he said, "and I realized I was wrong about many things. There was only one fish left in the boat, that strange silver one, with the inscription 1947. Santiago took it out and showed it to Manolin. "Do you see this inscription? It's the year I was born. It's the year I lost my father. I thought the loss was a curse, but now I know it was a gift." "A gift?" The boy didn't understand. "Yes, because loss taught me the value of life. Loss taught me struggle. Loss taught me love." Santiago took Manolin's hand. "Listen, boy. Life is not a war with the sea or a war with fate. Life is a dance with the unknown, and the most important thing is not winning, but how you dance." Part 6. A New Beginning. Over the following weeks, strange events occurred in the village. The fish Santiago had caught began to glow in the night. Locals said it was a miracle, a sign of divine blessing. Scientists came to study it, but could find no explanation. But Santiago knew the truth. It was his father's final gift, proof that their encounter was real, not a hallucination of a lonely old man. Santiago's life changed. He began teaching young fishermen not only the art of fishing, but also the philosophy of the sea. He taught them the importance of respecting nature, the need to listen to the voice of intuition, and how true victory is not conquest, but harmony. Manolin became his faithful disciple. The boy listened to the old man's every word, understanding that he was learning not just fishing, but the art of living. One day, a year after their encounter with the marlin, Santiago and Manolin set out to sea at dawn. The old man felt his time drawing to a close. His heart beat unevenly. His breathing grew heavier. But he was not afraid. When they were far from shore, Santiago turned to Manolin. "Boy, I want to tell you a secret the sea revealed to me." "What secret, Santiago?" asked Manolin. "The secret is that we are never alone. Even when it seems we are alone, we are surrounded by those we have loved and lost. They live within us, in our actions, in our love of life. My Father lives within me, and when I am gone, I will live within you." Manolin began to weep. "Don't cry, boy. Death is not the end. It is simply another form of life. It is a return to the sea from which we all came." Epilogue. Santiago died that night when the moon was full. He was found at dawn, sitting in a boat, a smile on his face. In his hands was that strange silver fish, glowing with a soft blue light. Manolin buried him by the seashore, in a place where they often fished together. He erected a simple cross on his grave with the inscription, "Santiago, fisherman, philosopher, father to many. He taught us to dance with the sea." The years passed. Manolin grew up and became a wise fisherman and teacher. He told Santiago's story to each new generation of fishermen, the story of the old man who met his father at sea, a story of forgiveness and love, a story about how life is not a struggle, but a dance. And sometimes, on nights when the moon was full, the fishermen saw the glowing figure of a black marlin in the sea. They said it was Santiago and his father, dancing together in the waters of eternity. The sea kept their story, as it keeps the stories of all those who ever dared to meet it face to face. And every wave, every storm, every calm and at is a reminder that life is beautiful precisely because it is short, and that true wealth is not found in the number of fish we catch, but in the moments we spend with those we love.